consecutive wins for the Blazers, but leading going into the fourth quarter. As George slams his way.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant closer to the reservation.
50% shooting from the field, 40 from three. There's Paul George from outside.
15% of his attempts come from out there, Dave.
George tracks down the loose ball, catch and fire.
Get it, our job is to wonder about where he's going to be, but for this particular instance, this is just about respect for a teammate.
Paul George. George, sweet move going behind the back and burying the three.
Play in a crowd, Dave, which is exactly what you want to do.
Get two or three guys on him. George smokes the net. Thunder have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA. Deep attempt, good for George. He's got 5. Shot clock at 5 for the Thunder. George, it's good. Rebounds, that's his first 2-point basket of the game. George for 3, wow. He's still walking around with one shoot. Paul George hits a 3. George with 27. George, beautiful dribble, drives the paint, hangs, and gets the bounce. He's got 29. Here's George, puts it on the floor, gets past 2 guys, stuffs it on the freak. George, they double him on the catch. Timer at 5. Against Brogdon, puts it up, hits it!
Today from this Thunder team, coming off of that win against Philly.
Well, it's going to be, I like that as well. And there's going to be a long continuation. Just get open, I'll get you the ball.
George found the rebound. George steps back and drains the 3 over Alonzo. 3-point land. This time PG, catch fire 3. That is good. Been singled out coming into this game as being the guy who they wanted to slow down, make sure it didn't get going from the 3-point line, but talking about getting going, Paul.
Excellent 3-point shooter.
George again, and the drive and the finish.
Because of some issues with his home country, I believe.
In a wild story is George coming in after that big win on Sunday night against the Bucks. George goes right at Isaac, able to finish over the top.
They were right at the rim.
One of the best shot blockers is Paul George. Lines up and get out of the break. Goes right at Isaac, and how about that? One of the top recruits coming out of high school. George, oh, he leaned into it.
Block as well. Thunder will take that.
How many times have we seen that this bucket of the second quarter for the Magic? As George slips around the screen, takes the bump, counted in the foul. Frenchman. George left open in transition and capitalizes. See what happens here is Isaac now switched up on PG. Trying to make the move. How about the spin move? We've been asking all season long, how do you defend Paul George? This time, Isaac trying to keep him in front. George takes the bump, got it to drop, and the foul. Well, the Magic just continue to take threes, and George continues to find his way to the Westbrook. Up ahead, Noel saves it out of bounds, finds George knifing down the lane in the scoop.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. George, tough finish. George rising over Fournier.
It also helps when you got a guy like Paul George who can just do it. I wasn't sure how it was going to make you feel.
That's quite an achievement. That's a nice move by Paul George. Wow. Just attack that lead. I saw 2 more seconds.
George in the corner off the inbounds pass. Which bombs and shams. But if I'm the Pelicans, and it's George lines it up from down. Currently for the Magic. Pelicans are not stringing together solid defensive possessions. Quick trigger 3 by Paul. Back up to a 5-point lead for the Magic. George, one-on-one, what a 3 in total steals. 10-point Thunder lead. George knifing down the lane. Oh, the nifty move on the left hand. So first offensive possession of the night for the Thunder, and it's George going to work. And he picks up where he left off. In McCollum, one of the highest scoring duos in the NBA from the guard position is Paul George. Drains it from downtown. He's in there for Damian Lillard. George on the step back. Boy, that's a tough shot. So we open up quarter number 2. George, first shot, that's good from 2. George open for 3 on the step back, and like you gives it back up. Westbrook to George, spins. Boy, and after all,
showed a lot of confidence in him as well.
Ton of faith. George got down low, dumps it off. Adams. George slithering, bounces, fades, and counted to go. McCollum had it knocked away and a steal by George. George got away from everybody and detonates at the rim. Tight one. There's a pass, got deflected by Paul George. Hip to hip with Nurkic, all the way to the rim, and he scores.
Pushing the basketball and forcing the pace, wound up with a high percentage shot. Unfortunately, Ball couldn't knock it down.
George gets quick outlet ahead to George. George gets past Hart, takes his time, lays. Double figures for JaVale McGee. George. Bad pass stolen by Westbrook. Westbrook measures, throws it up for Paul George. Good unselfish play. George catches, George drives. Nice step, bank shot is good. Pretty play from Paul defensively. George well beyond the arc. That's a 3.
Paul George rips him and then looks at the Laker bench.
Stevenson all over George. Finally draws the foul. Shot's good and then 1.
And those two guys are good. Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double in what he does every single night. And Luke Walton as a coach, but more importantly as a former player.
McGee. George for 3. Ferguson stays in the game. Meanwhile, OKC's missed their last 10 shots, and that streak ends as George.
In the half court, if you're the Thunder, make this Laker team play half court out.
George to the rim, lays it up of 25 from 3. George throws it up, and Adams throws it down.
Look at Paul George too, Mike.
Oh, beautiful pass, and George.
Your man leaves you to double team, you cut right down to the front of the rim. Adams on the lob, baby.
Sixers back up by 2. George with the step back 3. Got it! To Adams.
Yeah, they wanted to discontinue there.
For the lead, Paul George! To him, the 3 ball. Yeah. Another possession out to Westbrook.
It's been a ride.
George finishing in the other end.
I guess I had to go to that place to get to this one. Now some of you might still be in that place. If you're trying to get out, just follow me. I'll get you there. You can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I lay them, but you won't take the sting out these words before I say them. Cause ain't no way I'm gonna let you stop me from causing mayhem. When I say I'm gonna do something, I do it.